Preface of Organic Evolution. This is the LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Organic Evolution by Richard Swann Lull. Preface. The addition of another to the long list of books which have been written on evolutionary subjects would hardly be justified in the present instance, were it not for the fact that the writer is a paleontologist, whose viewpoint and the evidence at his disposal are therefore materially different from those of the great majority of authors who have enriched the literature of evolutionary biology. The discussion is not based solely upon existing evidences, but also upon the geologic life record, which, although very imperfect compared with that formerly present, is nevertheless wonderfully rich in precept and example, such as do not come within the scope of the usual methods of instruction. The work aims to be comprehensive in its scope, but should make a special appeal to students of the past life of our globe. It is hoped, however, that a wider public will learn thereby that the science of paleontology has a unique social or human value. The work is the outcome of 23 years of college teaching, during the last 11 of which, courses more or less closely paralleling the substance of the present volume have been offered to Yale University students. While the course at Yale has been presented in the form of lectures, a textbook, Jordan and Kellogg's Evolution and Animal Life, has been used for reference, especially in the earlier lectures. The use of that excellent work has necessarily influenced the author's teaching, and as a consequence, the writing of the present book, certain chapters of which will be seen to parallel somewhat those of Jordan and Kellogg. The writer wishes thus to acknowledge his indebtedness to this source. For the larger part of the work, the sources vary, the principal references being given at the close of each chapter. These collectively form a representative bibliography of the subject from the present writer's point of view. Each chapter, as it has been written, has been referred to one or more of the author's colleagues for criticism, and, so far as possible, such criticisms have been met and suggested additions inserted. It is hoped that by so doing, errors of fact have been in a measure eliminated. The final responsibility, however, lies with the author. I am deeply indebted to my colleagues, Professors Schuchert, Barrell, and Woodruff of Yale University, and to Professor W. K. Gregory of Columbia University and the American Museum of Natural History for painstaking criticism, as they have collectively read and commented upon the entire work. Dr. W. D. Matthew of the American Museum and Professor H. H. Wilder of Smith College have also aided me in the text, while I am able, through the courtesy of President Osborne of the American Museum, the New York Zoological Society, through Mr. C. W. Beebe, the United States National Museum, that of the Academy of Natural Sciences of Philadelphia, and the Peabody Museum at Yale, to present the series of photographs which form the plates. The text figures, which have been taken from many sources, have, with very few exceptions, been especially drawn for the book, and are very largely the work of Mr. William Bakke, which was rendered possible through the generosity of the publishers. A very great portion of the labor of preparing the manuscript and of seeing it through the press has fallen to Miss Clara M. Levine of the Yale Museum, to whom I am especially grateful. Richard Swann Lull, Yale University, June, 1917. End of preface. Recording by Lucretia B. Chapter 1 of Organic
Sample complete. Ready to continue?